Hello, beautiful ones. Let me make sure my screen is all set. Let's take a moment and just simply land here. It's been a beautiful, crazy day for me. I'm very grateful. Yeah, but it has been a very busy day for me. Just making sure all my settings are good. If there's anyone in the chat that can just verify you hear me loud and clear, that would be super awesome. So I've been here for a moment or two talking about a lot of different topics. One of my most favorite, valuable, important conversation is that about embodiment. And so I want to do a talk today in my final talk, The Embodied Woman, how self abandonment depletes our power and what we can do to reclaim it. Most women don't lack power. They've been trained to abandon it. There are millions of micro messages in our society that are designed to disconnect us from our center knowing. They're the messages that are just constantly coming into our field are designed to disconnect us. It is the agenda. A disconnected person cannot think for themselves. And so, if they cannot think for themselves, they're easily controllable. And so this is where we actually find our disempowerment is in that disconnection. And now I also want to just kind of add in there that self-abandonment does not look like weakness. It looks like being nice and capable. And you're the one holding everyone together. It's the glue that holds the family together. This is what self-abandonment can look like. That's what makes it sneaky. For me, self abandonment often shows up in my overgiving, my overdoing, my overcaring, wanting other people to be well, to have what they need, have what they want. It shows up a lot for me in that way. Another way is when I am more committed to the comfort of that other person. So I begin to shrink my truth. If you can relate, yeah, drop in a thumbs up or a smiley face in the chat because that is probably one of the most common ways we self abandon. And then also being an empath, another way that I do that, how I leave my body is when I'm reading the room instead of staying home, when I'm scanning and orienting myself to any kind of perceived threat. Those are ways we self abandon. Just take a breath and let that land. And the cost of that is the disconnection from our power, from our wisdom, from our true sense of authentic knowing. To leave the body is to abandon that knowing. Now, I've spoken before in my previous talk that self abandonment is not a flaw. It's not a character flaw. It's not that something is wrong with you. It is an attachment strategy. It is something that you learned as a child. It was your way of preserving connection. As children, we may have felt unsure and unsafe. Therefore, our awareness would have oriented to the threat. It would have oriented to the space that we needed to really pay attention to so that we felt secure. And so that worked. We did it. We made it. We're here. But at some point, we did it so often and so easily. We adapted, and that muscle built, and it became a permanent fixture in our mechanism. At that point, connecting to others, belonging to others, feels and felt safer than belonging to yourself. We valued being accepted over being in our body. And when did we learn this? Obviously, childhood. So many childhood dynamics, some of them seemingly innocent, like maybe you just were at school and you wanted to be included. There were the cool kids and you wanted to be in the group, right? Maybe it was something a little bit more scary. Maybe there was a school bully and you were trying to diffuse the bomb of that threat by giving pieces of yourself away. Maybe you grew up in a home where there was a lot of emotional flooding, meaning someone in the household did not know how to regulate their own system. They did not know how to hold their own emotions in an appropriate way. And so the flooding can feel like a tidal wave. It could have been something as simple as you got a lot of praise for being a good little kid. You were so helpful. You were so easygoing. There was no problem. This value system starts creating a child that realizes they have to always be that if they're going to continue to be accepted. But do you see yourself in that at all? Empaths and highly sensitive people are especially prone to self abandonment because we do come with our own level of sensitivity. Our heart chakra space, our heart field is a smidge, a smidge more sensitive than people that are not HSP or empath. Our attunement becomes identity. We learn to scan, we learn to be on guard, we learn to feel our surroundings to the extent that it's harmful to us, but it becomes our crutch. It becomes comfort because we can control that part of our experience. This is where it starts looking a lot like personality. It's not, it's trauma response, but it looks like personality. You didn't choose self abandonment consciously. Your body chose safety through connection, through being accepted, through having that person feel, look, and behave as if they are pleased with you. That was the moment your system got hooked into that survival mechanism. Easy peasy. That's what happened. But what I really want to do is bring this into a space that the self embodiment isn't, it doesn't live in your thoughts. It's not a thought. It's not a conscious decision that I need to abandon myself. It's not something that we are aware that we're thinking. It actually lives in the body, it lives in the vagus nerve, it lives in the system of the organism that is trying so hard to navigate situations that they have no control over. Okay. So it's in the body, it's not in the thoughts. In fact, I don't know very many people that can think themselves back when they realize they've self abandoned. It's not a thought to leave and it's not a thought to come back. It's in the body. So what happens physiologically when one abandons themselves is especially through safety, when we abandon through that safety mechanism, one of the things that can happen is we get our chest gets tight. Maybe we're holding our breath kind of in this high anticipatory space in the collarbone and the throat. Sometimes our posture will collapse. Our posture is a signal that we're minimizing ourselves, we're shrinking, we're trying to be smaller. We don't want the bad attention, so we try to be as small as possible. Essentially, a small target is hard to hit. And so we instinctively try to make ourselves as small as possible. Our behaviors will change. We'll go into the fawn response, which is people pleasing, anticipating the person's needs before they ask for them. The nervous system begins to see through its own lens that safety is more valuable than authenticity. and the body will prioritize survival over truth. And there's a lot of things that are happening in the brain at that point where the prefrontal lobe will actually shut down, the part of you that oversees logic and reason, but it oversees your forethought of being able to see the bigger picture, to be able to see the macrocosm. That goes bye-bye. That shuts down. The body or the brain will flood, it's all of its blood will go back to the amygdala, and the amygdala is the part of us that oversees our survival. So this is why it's not a mindset thing. It's not you have to just be more positive or you have to say things to yourself. It is physiological. And so I say all of that to bring in kindness, to bring in compassion, because it's not that you just aren't getting it. It's these things are designed to help you survive. So we get to be a little bit kind to ourselves when we notice we're doing these things, right? If your body doesn't feel safe, it will override your desires every single time. You can want it and want it and want it. But if the body, if the signal in the organism goes, nope, danger, then you have no say over that experience. Things begin to shut down, other things begin to light up, and it's going to take care of you. It's going to override your conscious thoughts. So, what I'd like you to do is just take a moment and think about a time where maybe you self abandoned. Maybe you said yes when you meant no. Just something very simple, nothing too big. Kind of remember the last time you know you wanted to say no, but you said yes anyway. What happened in your body? And here's the beauty is that your mind, you don't have to actually remember everything about that experience. Your body remembers. Oh, hi. Hi, Virio. I see you popping in. Your body will actually have a visceral reaction even to the memory. You don't even need to be there in that moment. Sometimes just recalling the memory will help the body trigger what it feels like. So just take a moment and feel what it feels like when you say yes, when you mean no. What do you feel? What does your body do in that moment? What does it feel like in that moment of self betrayal? Just pause right there. Drop it in the chat. Feel into it. Yeah. Because self abandonment isn't just about keeping the peace. Self abandonment literally depletes your life force. So, all of the mechanisms that you have going on in those moments is pouring out your life force, your chi, your energy, your vitality. It spends energy to survive. So, self abandonment is a serious situation. It's not a woo woo thing and it's not a new terminology buzzword thing. It is the culprit of leading you to burnout. There is a huge emotional cost. Emotional flooding can happen in those moments. You can go into grief. You can have a lot of anger or resentment because, oh, that person is asking me to do this thing and I don't want to do it, but I feel obligated to say yes. So I've got to say yes. So a lot of resentment can bubble up right there. It can be frustrating. It can be sad. It can feel, even to the depending on the degree of that self betrayal, it can feel violating. It can cause confusion, overwhelm. I don't even know what I want because now we aren't in our body, therefore we don't know what we want. Over prolonged period of time that can cause burnout and depression. Causes relational issues because now you're over giving leads to under receiving. We train our people. So the more you overgive, the more they learn they can take and they don't have to give back because they're like, oh, yeah, she's such a giver. She's so giving. It leads to unbalanced relationships. You're attracting those dynamics where you are not valued in the relationship. All right. Just watching my time. So, what I'm going to do in this moment right now is just kind of challenge you just ever so slightly. So, I would like for you just for yourself, you don't have to put this in the chat. It can be a very vulnerable conversation, but I'd like to invite you to begin pondering where in your life you're still negotiating your value with being accepted. Where are you negotiating? Where is that transaction? Where are you giving away for comfort and safety and spending that energy that you have? Where are you doing that? Just in this next few moments, over the next few days, just think about that for yourself because every time you leave yourself, your power has nowhere to live. It leaks out of you. Every self abandonment is a micro betrayal towards yourself. One of the things that I hear in my clients most often is, "Well, I just don't trust myself. I just don't trust anymore. I just don't have faith. I don't feel secure. I don't know what I'm doing." Like there's a lot of overwhelm and confusion and kind of this sense of I've lost my center. I've lost myself. Right? That makes sense? And it's because of this micro betrayal. Every time you self-abandon, you cut a little bit more into that trust of self. Over time, you begin to doubt your own innate wisdom. You are arguing and kind of negating your intuitive hunches and you're gaslighting your inner knowing because there's a subconscious awareness that you have not had your own back. You are not believing in your own value over the comfort and acceptance of others. And therefore, there is a loss of trust with self. hmm Just pausing, just breathing. I'm going to take a drink around that. The more and more I study this and learn this and practice this and fumble with this and figure it out and all the things that comes from self-development is I understand that self-abandonment is so sneaky. We don't always know that we're doing it. We're not aware that we're doing it. And it's really an important conversation to have because we're doing it in ways we don't even realize. So, the embodied woman, the woman that is coming back, the work isn't about becoming more powerful. It's not about working harder to be more powerful. That is a very masculine way of trying to brute force ourselves past the problem. That for women takes us out of our infradian rhythm, puts us into more of a testosterone, although we lack the same amount of testosterone. So we dip into our cortisol levels and our adrenaline, and we're forcing our energy to do something that it's not innately designed for. So the work is not about becoming more powerful, it's to stop abandoning the power that you already have. You have your own wellspring of life force that belongs to you. The journey is about not spending it because of the habit of feeling unsafe. Because that's at this point, we are no longer children in those same experiences. It is now simply habit, programmed pattern. Okay. Take a breath with me. Somewhere down the line, someone's watching this recording and I can feel you. It's one of my it's one of my gifts that time and space collapse right here for me. So I'm just talking directly to you, sweet lady. Just take a deep breath. Let your diaphragm and your belly expand. I feel like you're holding it in your diaphragm. So just take a nice deep breath. Let your body soften. Let your belly soften. Breathe all the way down to your root chakra. That's it. There you go. Do a couple more of those because that's feeling really good. Yeah, good. So power returns when you stay. This is the simple, not easy formula of it. It's simple. Not easy. It's it's paradoxical that way because it's like, "Oh, stay, got it." But our entire lives have been focused on leaving and dissociating and abandoning so that we don't feel the discomfort of whatever is in front of us. And so, yeah, right? We can laugh about it because it's hard, but it's worth it. And it's simple, not easy. So the power returns when you stay in your body, when you tell the truth, even if it's a gentle no, even if your friend asks you to go hang out with them for coffee and you just don't have another drop of energy to give anybody in the world, and you gently say, I can't do that. Every time you tell the truth, you are essentially validating to your internal self that you matter. Hold that with me because this is ultimately the choice point of the self abandonment embodiment conversation. Every time you self abandon, you are saying to the universe, they matter more. They matter more. Their comfort matters over my safety. Their comfort matters over my vitality. That is a micro betrayal that breaks down the trust of self. But every time you choose your well being and you say, I just don't have the capacity for that today, you are stating to the universe, I matter too. I am valuable in this moment. My well being is valuable in this moment. Yeah, that's what makes it so sneaky. We don't realize the ramifications of our choices when we're just wanting people to be happy. We're validating to the universe that their comfort is more important than our well being. That is self betrayal. Big breath. Big, yummy, juicy. Just let it land, let it land, let it land. This is the moment that matters. Do not let your discomfort want to push that away. Do not let your discomfort want to discredit this conversation. That's what happens. It starts feeling uncomfortable and we bolt. So I'm asking you not to do that in this moment. Just a very small challenge in this very beautiful moment, live or in the recording, whichever it is. Just allow yourself to breathe in that. Allow yourself to sit in that discomfort because that is another form of self abandonment. When we bolt and dissociate and avoid and run away from something that's uncomfortable, we are saying, my safety is more important than this moment of realization. It is another form of self abandonment. Good, good, good. Yes. And that's it. Like, honestly, if you did only that, if you practice simply sitting in discomfort and not leaving your body when you are uncomfortable and just pausing and breathing and holding it, it does disperse. It begins to soften because the immediate feeling is simply your nervous system thinking we need to orient to the threat. It just feels threat. Where's the threat? And so it wants to run to go find the threat. But right now, there's nothing. There's no threat. There's just discomfort. And our nervous system doesn't know the difference. So we get to hold it in the discomfort and go, "No, honey, we're okay. We're okay." Okay? So this is embodiment. This is not mindset. You can't think your way through this. It's not performative of like, well, let me just say all the right words. It is presence with self and holding yourself when things feel shaky and comforting yourself when you want to run away. Embodiment is the practice of simply not leaving yourself. Yeah. You can't see it, but I know my eyes keep going this way, but I have on my wall written in Sharpie, I have a message to myself and it says, "Let's just not abandon ourselves today." That's what cuz I'm still practicing not wanting to come out of my body, and it's just this really beautiful reminder prompting me of like, "No, no, no, we're okay. This is just I'm speaking and I get nervous when I speak and my body doesn't know what to do with all this energy because so let's just not abandon ourselves today. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness, 5 minutes. Let's see. Where do I want to take us? I think I want to just give you three really easy steps. I feel three right now, the three anchors of embodied power. Number one, it's always going to be awareness. Simply notice when you're leaving. That's it. What does it feel like physically? What does it feel like emotionally? What does it feel like energetically? Get really good at catching it. Number one. In other words, you don't do anything else but like, oh, there I go. Oh, there I go. Oh, there I go. You have to be kind because you're going to, sorry, there's a lot of pollen in our area. You have to be kind to yourself because you're going to see it a lot when you start attuning your awareness to noticing the things that you want to shift. Please be kind when you notice the things you need to shift. Don't be mad at it. Don't be mad at yourself. But first, it's awareness. What are the cues? What are the sensations you have in your body? Then, when you're really good at noticing it, then you're going to disrupt it. Now you're going to create a pause, a breath, a moment, an interrupted moment. You're going to go, wait, no, I'm not going to do that this time. One of my pauses is I now have sort of an agreement with myself that whenever someone asks something of me, my response is almost always, can I get back to you? Do you mind if I sit with that? Do you mind if I think about that? Do you mind if I check my calendar? I don't say yes immediately. I just give myself a moment. That's my interruption. That's my pause. And then you're going to return. So aware, pause, return. Take a breath. Hum. Humming is actually a really good way because it regulates the nervous system. So if you take a deep breath, just take a nice low hum and let that vibration hit the chest. That's a really good way to regulate your nervous system, especially your vagus nerve. Your posture, you can roll your shoulders back. You can like move your arms a little bit. You can create a mantra. I am safe. I am here. I am safe. I am here. Tapping the body, tapping the legs. You could stomp your feet. Anything that's going to stimulate sensation is really good because your awareness is going to go to that stimulation, to that feeling in the body. So anything that's going to bring you back to that awareness of self, because your awareness is probably wanting to leave, so you're wanting to call it back, right? And I just have a couple more minutes. I think lastly what I want to say is that notice where you've been leaving. Be very kind about coming back because this is a process. You've spent years leaving easily, so it's going to take time to come back. All right. So please be kind about that. Please be gentle with yourself. You didn't do this to yourself, you adapted. And so I'm really wanting you to be kind to yourself. And then I think lastly, what I want to say is if you're interested in wondering how you self abandon, I have a very easy quiz that gives you that answer. It's at www.takeherquiz.com. It gives you your very specific archetype and pattern of self abandonment. It helps you see how you behave in those moments because awareness is key. If you can't see it, you can't shift it. And so once you take the quiz and you get the results, it also has some really beautiful practices, journal prompts, ways to help you come back and begin to like truly embody in this space of you being this really beautiful, vibrant, embodied woman in the world. So I invite you to take that quiz, enjoy. Um, yeah, I think that's complete for me because this beautiful embodied woman gets to be the one that steps forward in life and take her life in the way that she wants to go. You're worth that. You're worth living the life that you were born to live. Yeah, I'm aware that I'm out of time, so I'm rambling. I love you all. Thank you so much. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. If there's anything else I can do to support you, just know that I'm here. Much love to you. Bye.